Well, as if we didn't have enough projects and enough things to deal with, we bought another one. So, kind of similar to that 70 Roadrunner video I just posted. This is a car similar to ones we have, but different. We've never had a 70 Coronet before, and, you know, odds are this probably is the only 70 Coronet we're ever going to have. But this car is F8 green vinyl top, green interior, originally bucket seat, buddy seat, 318 on the column originally, you know, 8 1/4 rear end, probably 904 transmission. Nothing fancy, but this is a Montana car. It's very solid. You know, I mean, you can see the original quarter panels here. I mean, it's nice. A little bit of rust right above the quarter wheel well here, a little bit down there, but I mean, it's about as solid as you could find an original car anyways, other than maybe, you know, Arizona car or something like that. This quarter, a little bit worse, a little bit down there, and a little more above the wheel well, but hey, a little patch there, a little patch there, or, you know, maybe you need to put a skin on it, I don't know. And this is just, it's just an awesome car. It's a very solid car, and got this from a really good guy. We're going to do some more stuff with him in the future. Had to go all the way out to Montana for it, but it was a very good trip. My mom lives out there, so I got to see her for a while, so that was a very nice, you know, a very nice thing. And man, this car is just, it's solid. It's a Montana car in every sense of the word. It's solid around the back window. There's nothing wrong with the top of the car, nothing at all. And it's a complete car for the most part, other than a seat and the grills. It's missing some parts here and there, but the trunk is full of them, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But this thing just, it's very complete. And you want to know what the best part is? Like I said, just 318, but it's all still there. And although it's just a 318, it runs. And I drove it off the trailer, and I drove it to where it's sitting right now. So it's just, it's a good car. The carburetor's having issues, the accelerator pump's going out on it. So, you know, give it a little bit of shot of starting assistance, and a quick turn of the key, and it's running. It's not loud, but it's running. Like I said, it's still having, you know, some carburetor issues, but it's a good car. It's a really good car. And the only downsides to this car, the only thing stopping this car from being a driver, is the radiator leaks, the carburetor has that issue, and one of the brake lines on the rear end broke in transport. So, you know, all that being said, not really a big deal. So you could honestly work on this car for a day, maybe 2 days tops, and have yourself a driver. And yeah, I mean, you'd run into a couple little issues here and there getting a car running that's been, you know, not daily driven in a while, but it's just a solid car. And we all know, I mean, at least I think we all know how hard it is even just to find a front clip for this car. And that whole front clip is rust free. So again, you know, keep in mind the carburetor is being difficult, we'll just say. But I'm gonna set you guys down, see if I can get it to make some happy 318 sounds. that dual exhaust actually sounds pretty good. So definitely, I mean, let me know what you guys think. If you had this car, what would you do with it? You know, would you tear it apart and restore it? Would you drive it like it is? Would you try to bring some life in the paint and maybe do something with that fender? Maybe put new interior in it? Tell me what you guys would do with this thing, because the options are basically limitless. And this car we bought with the intent to sell. I'm not gonna shortcut that one bit. I bought this with the intent to sell it. Me and my dad did, because neither of us are a super big fan of the 70 Coronet. We like the 69 Coronet. We like our Roadrunners. We like all kinds of different stuff. We like Challengers, Cudas. We like a ton of stuff. But the 70 Coronet is not super high on our list. I'll let that cool down. And also another thing is, all the gauges work. I mean, obviously they're off now, but even the gas gauge on this car works, which is pretty incredible. So as I was saying, we're not 70 Coronet guys, so this car is really cool. We really like it, but you know, it's gonna go on to somebody else that appreciates it a little bit more. But here's a ton of the parts. There's the front bumper hoops, you know, kick panel. There's the air cleaner. I actually stopped at a friend's place and asked him if he had a 72 barrel air cleaner, and he's like, yeah, I have a ton of those. I said, well, I want one. How much? He's like, $10. And I was like, all right. So I got to put that on the car. But other than that, it's a super nice, super complete car. And the trunk pan is really a pretty nice deal, but a little bit of rust there, a little bit of rust on the other side. Best thing you could do is if you had just like a center piece out of a trunk pan, or hey, even just leave it alone, you know, wire wheel it, seal it up with some POR 15 or rust encapsulator or something, and just have a driver. You know, do whatever you think you would do with this, and you know, think about what you would do with this if you had it. Let me know in the comments, because you know, I'm curious what people would do with this, because there's a ton of potential. So there's a lot of the parts. It's pretty much all there, except the only thing I don't have is the grills and the passenger seat. But the guy's gonna get me the passenger seat. And that was another thing. How many times have you opened a trunk and the trunk hinges be so squeaky and creaky and feel like they're gonna break, and you have to basically fight to get the trunk lid closed? This car, it's just that nice. And the rubber seal all the way around. I mean, this is still soft and flexible. It's pretty incredible how this thing has survived. You know, obviously being a Montana car gave it a huge advantage, but it's still pretty crazy how this thing has survived. And I will say another thing about this car that's kind of cool, but you know, doesn't really matter that much, is that it is actually a Coronet 500. You know, that doesn't really mean anything for 90% of people, but a Coronet 500 would originally have Coronet RT style taillights and tail panel. Now, that was taken off of this car, so kind of unfortunate, but it's got its, you know, regular Coronet standard, you know, Super B style tail lights in it, and you could put a regular tail panel or something like that on it, and it's still an incredible car. So anyways, hopefully somebody gets a kick out of this. Short term, I think, you know, I might do a couple of things that were on that list. You know, I might fix the carburetor a little or something, but you know, it's gonna get sold. A friend of mine actually already wants to come over and potentially buy it, so hopefully he buys it and does something cool with it. But you know, if not, you'll see it in another video working on it a little bit. And even if my friend does buy it, he'll let me come over and give updates on it, and you know, we'll keep track of this car regardless, I think, at least for a little while. So I'm excited about it. It's a fun car, and it has a huge head start over anything else because it already runs. So that being said, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, you know, what you would do with it if you had it. And I definitely appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.